Cruise news time. Well, Royal Caribbean just announced some ship swaps. They're changing some ships, and I think it has something to do with how fast the cruise ship can go. Interesting story. Carnival doing away with a couple popular onboard activities, but at the same time, a big announcement out from Carnival about some enhancements that they're providing to passengers and crew. And I just read about a movie remake that Amazon is doing that is blasphemous. Let me just say that should not be done. Can we talk a little movies at the end of the show? Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views. It is Wednesday, August the 3rd, 2022, and just a couple days until I leave for Seattle to go to Alaska. I am stoked, and I think Alaska probably plays into the first cruise news story. Cruise news story number one, Royal Caribbean sending out an announcement that they are swapping two cruise ships. They're moving one cruise ship from doing things in Alaska to doing things in the Caribbean and vice versa, all because of speed limits. Look, you got to go 88 miles an hour to go back to the future. All of your engines have to be online so that you can jump into hyperspace. And apparently, your cruise ship has to go a certain amount of speed to cruise in certain places. Now, the announcement's a little nebulous, okay? This is the announcement. The International Maritime Organization recently shared new speed regulations we must adhere to, and as a result, we've repositioned some of our ships for the upcoming 2023-2024 season. That was the letter sent out to passengers that were booked on the Brilliance of the Seas and the Radiance of the Seas. Those two ships are going to flip-flop and take on each other's itineraries. It's really a wild deal. Radiance of the Seas was supposed to do sailings in 2023 in Florida and then in Europe in 2023 and 2024. Well, instead, it's going to start off down in Australia and make its way up to Alaska and do the Alaska sailings for the next Alaska season. And the sailings that it's going to be doing are the sailings that were originally slotted for the Brilliance of the Seas. And so the Brilliance of the Seas, instead of doing Alaskan sailings, they're going to come and take over the itineraries of the Radiance of the Seas. Now, the statement does not make it clear where the speed issue is. Are these cruise ships not going fast enough for Europe? Are these cruise ships not going fast enough for Alaska? We have heard some stories this year of cruise ships with propulsion issues not being able to make all of the stops in Alaska. Now, the statement wasn't explicit as to where these speed requirements are causing the challenge, but the Brilliance of the Seas was built in 1998 and the Radiance of the Seas built in 2000. And with the Brilliance leaving Alaska and some of the conversations we've heard this year about propulsion issues in Alaska and skipped ports, my assumption is that it could be an Alaska thing. I did do a Google search for the Maritime Association to see if I could figure out what these speed limits were. I didn't see anything, so just speculation at this point that it is Alaska. But wow, we've seen a lot of things disrupt cruising, but I've never seen like a speed limit disrupt cruising. And I would say these are cruise ships maybe not getting up to the speed required for a location. In addition to announcing the flip-flop of the Radiance and the Brilliance, Royal Caribbean also announcing a change for Voyager of the Seas and Adventure of the Seas. Adventure of the Seas, currently in Galveston, will be moving to Fort Lauderdale to do Caribbean cruises. And then the Voyager of the Seas will reposition and be home ported in Galveston. It's just like Bobby D said, the ships, they are a-changin'. Cruise news story number two. Let's talk about a couple activities that Carnival is eliminating from their cruise ship. Number one is the belly flop contest. Now, as a dude with some girth around my waist, belly flop contest should be right up my alley. To be honest, I've been on maybe 7 Carnival cruises, and I don't think I've ever seen a belly flop contest. I did see a belly flop contest on a Royal Caribbean ship, but never Carnival, but neither here nor there. There will be no more belly flop contests going forward on any Carnival ships. There was some mention of, it maybe not being, family friendly, which belly flop, I don't think that's too, risque, too salacious. But then part two of the announcement is they're also doing away with the hairy chest contest, a fan favorite, which is maybe a little more risque, a little more salacious. Again, probably to promote the family vibe there on the Lido deck. No more gallivanting of sexy men for the enjoyment of, interested women. If you've ever seen one of these, it does turn out to be like that, with the women filling up the men and the men doing their best to win the affections of the ladies through gyration and display and, peacockery. Is that a word? Peacockery. But yeah, so I don't know if you're into those two things, but those were big events. I've seen packed Lido decks many times for the hairy chessman contest, the hairy man chess contest, the hairy chess contest. But no more. Sad day, I guess. I don't know. I've never been in one of those, but what do you think? Is it sad to see those two activities go away on the Carnival Lido deck? Leave a comment below. Now, cruise news story number 3 talks about Carnival giving something instead of taking something away. And I have to talk about this, what I feel like would be an abomination of a movie remake. What do you do in Amazon? But before I get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe if you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising. Hey, baby. That felt good. Everybody, shake it out. Let's all shake it out. Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. You get the cruise news and you get some stress relief. How about that? Thank you in advance. All right, cruise news story number 3 also deals with Carnival Cruise Line. And, we've talked recently about Royal Caribbean's activities, efforts to increase the bandwidth of the internet on their cruise ships. Well, Carnival is also in the bandwidth increasing business. Carnival noting that since cruising has restarted, there has been an uptick on internet usage on board, and to meet the demands of that uptick, they have been working new solutions to provide more bandwidth on board. All cruise lines, including Carnival, actively optimizing the use of their onboard app, allowing more services to flow through that app. That's going to require more bandwidth. As they bring on new crew members post-pandemic, there's a greater need to connect to other places in the world. One thing I really like that Carnival's doing is they're giving free WhatsApp text access to their crew members. And, overall, just trying to provide a better, more well-rounded, connected experience to passengers who, post-pandemic, really, as everything shifted from local physical work to remote work, you find a lot of people jumping on cruise ships now that really need that connectedness back home. I think the worm is turning when it comes to connectedness, and it's nice to see the big companies like Royal Caribbean, like Carnival, realizing that and then doing things to make that a better experience. So that's a really exciting story for me. I know there's still some holdouts out there that don't really care about the internet on cruise ships, but I think this is good not only for passengers and crew, and any story that says faster internet, as a dude who uses the internet and works on cruise ships, well, that makes me one happy sailor. How about that? What would you do with an internet, sailor? What would you do with an internet? You give them bandwidth. That's right, X marks the bandwidth. I just have to throw this story here. I know it's not cruise related, but look, I've got a voice and I have to let it be known. Jake Gyllenhaal, I like the Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's a fine actor. He's been in some good movies. But now he is going to undertake an iconic role for a remake that Amazon is doing of the Patrick Swayze classic Roadhouse. I don't think you should do this. I really don't. I get so frustrated with old things becoming new again. I understand it. You look at success and you should get inspiration from success, and then I guess sometimes you just straight up copy success and you go, well, that Patrick Swayze Roadhouse with Sam Elliott, that was a great movie. Why don't we just remake that? Just like they tried to do with Point Break. I didn't even watch the Point Break remake. Because how do you Swayze and young Keanu? What do you think? Should they remake Roadhouse? Can you redo Roadhouse without Patrick Swayze? Interesting, on the ship last week, I was having a conversation with the singer Aaron Shaw, and he hit me with a hard question. If I had to lay out there 5 movies that were my favorite, or I morphed the question into 5 movies I could always watch when they were on TV, I struggled, but this is my answer to that question now that I've had some more time to think about it. I would love to hear your answer to it. What are 5 movies that you would watch on TV anytime that you see them? I'm going to go number 1, Rounders. Any Rounders fans out there? Number 2, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You know, the one from the 70s with Gene Wilder. None of this other Johnny Depp abomination. That's another movie that shouldn't have been remade. Number 3, Grease. Every time Grease comes on, I can watch it. I can sing along with it. Number 4, Mallrats. Any comic book fans, any Kevin Smith fans out there, Mallrats, I can watch it every time. Love the scene with Stan Lee. And number 5, well, The Wizard of Oz. I think I've watched that movie every year when it came on network TV, and anytime I can see it, I still love that movie. We're off to see. I'm here to represent the Lollipop Guild. I outgrew that, but the Lollipop Guild. What 5 movies are on your list that you always stop the TV for? Leave a comment below. Woo! All right. There's a lot to do still as we get ready to go to Alaska, so I'm going to go do it. It's up to you now. The work's on you. It's time for you to sound off. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I get asked a lot, how much can you make doing YouTube? And I made a video a couple years ago, how much YouTube paid me for 10 million views. I got 10 million views in the first 1,000 days of this channel. How much did I get for those 10 million views? What did I get paid? If you want to see that, check out this video here. And look, do me a solid. Hit the like button. Unfortunately, if you do not hit the like button, Tony the Punisher will be in your life. And your punishment is this. You will have to square off in the squared circle against wrestling legend Ric Flair, who will inevitably cut his head open and bleed on you. And that just, well, you don't want that. Yeah, like, do you want Ric Flair? Do you want, woo, you want the Nature Boy to bleed on you? If you don't hit the like button, that's your punishment. And you have to wear the tights. Yeah, wrestling tights. Please hit the like button. Tony for Lido, Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.